What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham, and you are watching the Auto Breakdown. We have a jam-packed show. Let's get into it. First, we've got Jordan Anthony, who I somehow called Jordan Hathaway in the auditions, but now I know his name and I know his voice. The dude looks and sounds like a star. His chest voice still worries me. That big belting note at the end that he made sound good still was scary for me in the beginning of that note. And then he shaped it to be pleasant to the ear. But you really are gambling when you're belting in a full chest voice because it's the same resonance as yelling. And that can sound bad, but it can also hurt your voice, and you can also crack. So personally, I hope he stays away from the big belting notes and just does what he's really good at, which was everything before that. Then we've got Odell. Golly, it is rare that you find such a talented gospel singer that picks notes so well and executes flawlessly. Typically, with people who have race car engines as their singing voice, like Odell does, and they're in the gospel style, there's a lot of messiness that comes and is often accepted with all the emotion and the skill. So the car's spinning out a little bit and it's fishtailing here and there, but it's kind of exciting. Odell just harnesses all of that incredible horsepower and torque that he has in his engine and puts it in perfectly placed runs and belting moments and arranging the song very well. He did miss one of the runs, or maybe I just didn't like it as much. So often gospel singers will sing runs with notes in them that accent those weird chords. But those runs are usually over the weird chords. He did one big one that was over silence. So it's cool, but I just wasn't I didn't think it was executed well. 99% of this vocal performance, though, was fantastic and perfect, and his execution was incredibly accurate. Personally, I don't love the song choice when I don't like the decision when they're like, all right, I'm just gonna go out there and feel it and dance and give them the energy. That's what the producers want, because if it's just a show full of ballads, people are gonna fall asleep and turn on The Voice or something else. So when contestants come out and they feel like they gotta dance and give a ton of energy, for me personally, my personal opinion, I am not a fan. It doesn't give me the goods. What makes me love music deeply pretty much has nothing to do with that kind of stuff. Running out and like, all right, here we go. Get ready, cause here I come, yeah! Just like dancing and shouting and screaming and moving hips, great distances. That doesn't do it for me. Did it for the judges, maybe it does it for you. Stuart, a Groove Crew member in the watch party, said, you know, maybe some of these performers, we can't really grasp them on TV. You'd have to be there, which is a valid point. And maybe if I was there, I'd have been just blown away. Then we've got Blake. Okay, this one bothered me for a couple reasons. Three reasons. One, he's doing what he's not good at, in my opinion. Big belting, high energy stuff. That's not his sauce. His sauce is the ballad, piano, emotional stuff. That's what is most of his social media is made of that style, and it's doing very well for him. I think that's what he should be doing. I know showstoppers, there's a lot of pressure to like, come on, let's freaking go for it. But that's not his specialty. And then number two, the thing I didn't like is something I've talked about a lot. The judges saying, you know, you can do it. You just got to believe. I feel like you're doubting yourself. And then he agrees, of course, because who's going to disagree with the judge in that moment? And the problem is, It has nothing to do with doubt. You can have all of the confidence in the whole world that you can hit a note, and the physiology of your body has not changed. I promise you, no matter how hard I believe I can hit an E in a belting mixed voice, I cannot. I cannot, because that's how science works. That's how my body's made. I can't do it. We all have limitations. And for them to say, if you just believe hard enough, you really go for it, you can do it, it's going to lead him down a path of destruction vocally. The third thing is when I think about, which is not his fault, but when I think about some of the contestants who did not make it, I think we've got some contestants that were better singers than Blake. Now, it's not just about singing, it's about marketability. We don't have to roll our eyes at that. We don't have to say, corrupt marketability. Nope, that's part of the business. And that's what they're trying to do, is make the next big pop star. Personally, there are other people I would have chosen to be in his spot.
So I'm asking for the courage to make a change.
Tristan, man, that B3 sounded so good when he started singing. Man, you just gotta love him. I am not a country fan, and he's one of my favorite contestants. He's top 5 for me. That's my personal preference. He's one of my top 5 favorite contestants, which says a lot. So I know if I'm into him, other true country fans have to be loving him, and we know that's a strong demographic. Roman.
Over me, yeah.
You know, right when I was ready to write him off and give Odell the gospel singer position for Idol, thinking that there's only room for one, Roman does that. The energy and the harnessed energy that he's giving to that great song choice. Gosh, that was a great song choice, by the way. He left no doubt, and I felt like there's no way they could leave him out after that performance, and he really brings a lot to the table. And it's more than just his gospel acrobatic voice. It's his performance execution and his stage presence and his likability off stage is a force to be reckoned with. Then we have Alyssa and we have KB in a tiebreaker. But before I talk about that, I've had 78,000 subscribers for an eternity, it feels like. And I always say like and subscribe, and you guys have been doing a great job. But I'm thinking, I wonder if we can get to 80,000. It's only 2,000 subscribers more. Most channels are like, we're at 78. How can we get to 100,000 by tomorrow? I just want to see if it works. I don't even know if it's going to work if I say this or not. I'm at 78,000 on the dot right now, 78,000. I wonder if we could get 80,000 by the next week when the next episode comes out. I think we can do it. I've literally never tried this. So let's see if we can get 80,000. Okay, about the tiebreaker.
I'll never meet the ground. I'm on the deep end.
I wasn't a big fan of KB or Alyssa's Showstopper songs. Alyssa, it felt that her song was just like kind of similar to the previous performance I was talking about, where it's just like going out there and like, come on, let's do our thing. The band's killing. Here I am singing, dancing. It gave me too much of that instead of like the musical goods. And then KB's song, I thought it was a great song choice. I think the key was way too low. I think the key was really set for the riff that she did in Simple Man of to be a simple kind of man. I think the whole song, when I'm talking about the key was picked for that moment. But everything before that just felt too low. Sometimes people will pick a key for one moment that they've got in their head, and then the rest of the song suffers. So I think it was too low. The riffs after that sounded better, but I was not a big fan of this performance. So for the tiebreaker, they have they do it pretty fair. They give them 2 songs. They pick which song they want to do. They get an hour to practice, and then they come back. Alyssa started to sing, and I didn't really get anything from her in the verse. It felt pretty vanilla, like she was just singing the words. And then in the chorus, she opened up. While she was singing the verse, it hit me. Oh my gosh, this song was made for KB. This is such a better song for KB than it is Alyssa. Alyssa, when she opened up in the chorus, sounded great, like we know her to sound. KB started singing, and when she sang the verse, we could have stopped right there. I was melting. She sounded fantastic, like the song was made for her. Then she got to the chorus and just blew away any doubt on who won that sing-off. Let me say this. I don't want any Alyssa Ragu hate on this channel. Won't be accepted here. Because I bet this is the time where everyone's going to go, aha, yeah, take that. How's it feel for someone to sing in your moment? And blah, blah, blah. And just paint her to be this terrible person. Because she has received so much hate from how the American Idol audition for her and Julia was betrayed is actually a Freudian slip. Portrayed. Apparently, from different video sources that are public, we found out it was Julia's idea for Alyssa to have songs ready just in case. And we also found out that Alyssa did not plan to go to the audition, but the producers asked for her to come. Then the producer is actually the one that grabbed her hand and led her into the room. Then when she was there, they were talking about her constantly. And then finally she made the move like, maybe I could sing. That's what happened. I reached out to both of them. Neither of them have felt comfortable making comments other than what they've said publicly to go into a video. So I'm not sharing anything that I've said or talked to them about. But let's just keep going and say that KB earned that sing-off win, and she's going through, and she remains one of my favorite singers, another top 3 singer for me. A couple monster singers are announced that are not in the top 24. Michael Rice had a premier position in his audition and was a monster. He's out. Justice is out. She was one of my favorites. She's out. Jack.
It's to swing my way through the crowd.
Who I think I missed last episode, which is a whole nother story, but at least I'm saying his name correctly this time. Jack. I've been a fan of his since I heard him sing, and he does a great job here, just like he did in his audition. And now the judges are like, whoa, man, we were wrong. Gosh, listen to that. It's like, why are you late to the party? He sounded just as good in his audition. He sails through to the next round. I love them bringing the producers for them to like tell him, welcome to the top 24 into that. Then we've got Mia and McKenna. Mia sounds so good. That's the best I've heard her sing. I've already become a fan of hers, but this was just another level. She did some impressive maneuvering vocally with like a yodel, run, chest, belt, falsetto thing in the middle that made me squeal and was incredibly impressive. And then at the end, took her time. There was no rush. There was no tempo, and it was called railroad tracks, is what they refer to it as on a chart of just stopping and letting the singer end it. And she just focused, took her time, and nailed that big belt. Like Katie wants, I'm sure. So good for her for actually doing it, but doing it in a way that best suits her and can actually lead to success, and instead of trying to do that in the middle of the song when maybe she wouldn't have hit it so clean. McKenna.
If nobody's
I thought she sounded awesome. The judges were kind of making it sound like, oh, I don't know, this wasn't as good as usual, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was just as great as I've ever heard her. I love this performance. They make it like one of them's going to go through, and then they both go through, which I kind of knew. I was like, there's no way they're getting rid of McKenna. There's no way they're getting rid of Mia. Mia, maybe you guys can keep track of this for me, but Mia is top 5 favorite singer for me. Then we have Emmy, who I love. I like her personality, and I love her story, and she seems very personable on camera. She's from Nashville. For me, I'm missing what the judges are gawking over when she performs. I am still left wanting more. Will Mosley. Another guy that I feel like I'm missing. He's good. He's doing it right. But I promise you, I could find 200 singers, guy singers in Nashville who could sing that song just as good or better today. Aji. Picks great songs over and over and over. They said his voice was, he's starting to lose his voice. You can get excited, and you've got to protect your voice. I didn't notice his voice was lacking. He sounded great. A hoarse voice might even help and kind of play to his style of singing. I thought he sounded great again. Can he do more than the loud, raspy, high, gritty stuff? Does he need to do more? We shall find out. They announced quickly 3 people that go in. We've got Keiko that's in. I'm so interested to see how America treats him, and I could totally see him going on a roll through the live shows, which, gosh, I hope that happens. Ellie and Kennedy all are in. Then we've got K-Blocks. I was digging what K-Blocks was doing last night in the previous episode. Here, I feel like it's a little too much now. And this is why. She's starting to sacrifice what the song can give for what she can give. And she can give a lot. But when she's doing the weird stuff, like the novelty facial expressions and like going crazy, we're losing what the song can offer the moment. And all we're getting is what her odd things can offer. And there's a mix, there's a balance that she could do, but she's not doing it right now. It's all crazy off the wall odd stuff. Abby Carter. I take back those words that I've heard you. I think she got way too deep in her head for this. One, you have to tune the guitar after you put the capo on. Tune it before, put the capo on, and then tune it again, or your guitar is going to be out of tune. That's for Will. That's for anyone who plays guitar. 2, the bronchitis thing did not inhibit her voice. I think the only thing that it hurt was her mental space, because all the notes that she sang were pretty great and plenty good enough to deliver a great performance. The problem is, I think the guitar and her knowledge of her bronchitis kept her from locking into the arrangement, because the arrangement was pretty sick, but we couldn't quite get into it because I felt like she was trying to make up for previous mistakes in the song the whole time and was pushing and doing too much. She just needs to settle in, lock into these great arrangements that she consistently brings to the table, and just let it be, because she's fantastic. One of the best in the show. She just got to get out of her own way. Jaina. Oh my goodness. All right. 2 things that make Jaina stand out, and they both feed into each other. One, the obvious one, she might be the best singer in the show. Might be the most talented vocalist. Number 2, she's by far the best vocal arranger. It's one thing to just be a monster, to be a great singer. You can sing anything, however you want. It's going to sound good. It's another to craft carefully every single bar of every single song is what she's done from her audition to this Showstopper song. Everything is crafted and put right in its place to optimize the package that the song is. A lot of people come through Idol and are really, 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 really talented, but they can't put that talent in a package of an American Idol 90-second arrangement. Jaina, by a mile, is the best at doing that. Pair that with maybe the best voice in the show, and you have the best performances consistently. And I think we're gonna continue to get smacked in the face by her greatness every single week. Quintavious is in, and Haley is in. They show these contestants very briefly. Haley's a beast, and I'm worried that she's not gonna make the vote because we haven't gotten much from her. I think she was an early audition episode, and they didn't spend a lot of time on her tonight, and they didn't spend any time on her in the arena round. So that worries me because she's a beast, and I would love to see her go very far in the competition. Jennifer Jeffries. Okay, guitar. I maybe forgot or just didn't know at all that she was that good at guitar. Beautiful intro. I like this. I was into it. It's still right on the fence of too much uniqueness in her tone, like almost too much grovel is the word that I want to say. Maybe that's an onomatopoeia, but it works for a lot of people. And what I mean is a lot of fans. It works for them, a lot of them. And that's all you need to make money. I think she's on the right track. We're going to see what happens when America votes. If she could totally have a big run, could totally see that. Julia Gagnon. I thought she's one of the best singers in the show. I thought she was pushing a bit here. It felt to me like she was doing an impression of a diva big singer crushing this song and, quote, singing, instead of really connecting to the song and singing from her heart. She still had some, golden moments. There are some vocal, because she's a monster, there are some vocal moments that were gorgeous. Her falsetto is just as good as I've heard from anyone ever. But I want her to sing every song from truth, from authenticity, and from her heart, and let it come out that way. That's when we're going to all fall on the floor and lose our minds. Ziggy and Mackenzie. We have a tiebreaker, and boy, do I have some passionate thoughts. I am going to tell you about it in just a second. But first, let me get back to my happy place and talk about members. Groove Crew members who pay $5 a month. We've got some new ones. Before I tell you their names, here's what that means and here's how they became a member. For $5 a month, you can become a Groove Crew member and get access to the live stream watch party where I live stream myself watching American Idol. It's actually become quite a community in the members, and they just kind of talk to themselves. I almost feel like I don't even have to be there. Come join the crew. It's a blast. $5 a month. Click the join button below the video. New members we've got overnight. A, literally the letter A. I don't know how they got that name. And Super Mew 1, if that is a Pokemon reference. Appreciate that.
And it's hard for me to stay. I'm jealous of the way you're happy without. Oh.
I've never said this about American Idol, what I'm about to say. I have over and over and over again defended American Idol when everyone else has said a word like this that I'm about to say, because American Idol doesn't do that. But this sing-off situation was rigged. Rigged. The decision had to have been made before they even started singing. This was so frustrating to me. If you want to send Mackenzie through to top 24, then send him through. If you don't want to put Ziggy through, then don't put him through. But don't make this BS fake tiebreaker to put them together and say, gosh, we don't know. It's between you two. It really depends on who sings better in this sing-off. And then have Ziggy wipe the floor with Mackenzie. I think he would have wiped the floor with anybody, by the way, on this song. Have the best performance he's sung on the show so far. Left no doubt toward the end when he really put it into gear and hit some crazy high notes. Perfect, never forced, flawless. And then spin it as hard as you can. The judges did. They spun it as hard as they could to make it about Mackenzie's emotional life when he sang the song. As if Ziggy was a zombie as he sang. That's some bull spit. That is some BS. Grade A BS. There is no human that watched that and said, Mackenzie's got it. I think he was done a huge disservice because now people are going to go, oh man, Mackenzie shouldn't have made it in. Ziggy should have made it in. Here's what I think. Mackenzie absolutely should be in the top 24, and he is. Ziggy should absolutely be in the top 24, and they should have never made this dumb, fake, pseudo tiebreaker. They should have just put them both in separate times. Do a sing-off with someone if that's really how you feel. Like the Alyssa and KB thing, that made sense. That was some BS. Let me talk about Mackenzie. He has some of the best falsetto turning into runs ability, if that's a phrase, of anybody in the show. I wish that he would arrange them a little better instead of sing a high falsetto note and then do the run thing. That's what it feels like his thought process is. Here I am doing a falsetto, let's do a run thing instead of like Jaina really plot it out each note and time it right too. Put it in the pocket where it breathes and lives and flows in the song and flows into the next emotion and next line. I'm excited to see what he does next. He absolutely should be in the top 24. Do not misunderstand me. That dumb tiebreaker thing was rigged. There's no way they were really letting that tiebreaker decide. The decision was already made. And that has been an accusation of Idol for years and years and years. And I've always said, no, that's not how, no. They don't do that. They did it this time. It's the only explanation to me. These videos are not just random YouTube videos. They're actually premiered on YouTube like a regular TV show. And the cool part is not only do you get to chat with me and other people that are watching as it premieres, but you also get access to the live Q&A that's free. So we can talk and you can ask me questions afterwards. I answer questions from Groove Crew members or anybody who puts a super chat in the chat. Then I'll answer their question immediately, whether they're a Groove Crew member or not. That live Q&A link is going to go up in the chat right now. Next week, we've got Tori Kelly and Jelly Roll, and we're going to be voting. So get your thumbs ready, download the app, do whatever they tell you, and vote for good singers, because that would be nice for good singers to go through. All right, I'll see you guys next week.